Dance Arts of Columbia provides fitness fun for everyone from 3 years old to adult. Dance Arts is a good environment where the friendly staff makes you feel comfortable. Dance Arts feels that dance is an art form that you can experience firsthand by learning tap, jazz, modern, musical theater, lyrical, and ballet. Dance Arts urges you to enjoy a sense of accomplishment while getting fit and having fun. For class information, call 875-1569. Dance Arts of Columbia, serving Columbia since 1979.
Welcome to Radio Friends on this Monday, April the 13th. Not Friday the 13th, but Monday the 13th. Good to have you with us. We've got a lady who's been on Radio Friends a couple of times now, JOY SWEENEY. She is with the Council for Drug-Free Youth, Jefferson City. And this lady has information that is really eye-opening to all of us.
It is.
Before we came on, Joy, you were just sharing some of the statistics. And I guess I grew up in a totally different age than what we live in today.
We all did.
Yeah. But you're telling me that kids as early as the 6th grade or younger start experimenting with drugs and alcohol.
Yes, that's absolutely true. As a matter of fact, the age of onset for most of our youth are between 12 and 14 years old. Somewhere, depending on what substance you're referring to, it's somewhere in the range of 12 to 14.
Yeah.
And if they don't start using in that age range, the numbers start declining and declining. And so for most part, the 17, 18, 19-year-olds that haven't already experimented with drugs don't experiment with drugs at all, or don't use alcohol, or don't drink alcohol until they turn 21.
So you're telling me that if kids start playing around with this when they're around 12 or 13, they're going to carry this out through the rest of their life. But if they wait until they're older, it's not there. The addiction
doesn't happen. And that's one of the things that, you know, some of the people, specifically tobacco companies, understand this, and that's why they got the age lowered to 18. And that's why they target younger audiences. First of all, they can get addicted in as little as 6 months. Adults, it takes most adults before they form an alcohol addiction. They have to consistently drink on a regular basis almost up to two to 3 years.
Is that right?
Yes. Whereas children can become addicted in as little as 6 months. So if they start...
Because the mind, the little brain is not totally developed yet.
Absolutely.
So it's much easier to get addicted to drugs. And then once that brain is rewired that way, it's very difficult to get off of it.
It's an addiction. It's a disease. That's exactly the point. And that's the problem, and that's why we try and educate the youth, but we can't just stop there. The entire community has to understand and has to change their attitudes towards substance abuse and substance use by youth in order for us to change the youth perception. Because if youth see adults drinking all around them, if they see adults smoking marijuana all around them, guess what happens? Their perception of harm goes way down, their acceptance of the substance as tolerable or acceptable or something to try goes way up, and we have increased addiction levels among our young people.
All right, so how do you get the message across to adults that it is really important specifically for those 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old kids?
Well, that's one of the things I keep trying to learn more about, the science behind it all. But, you know, when you get into brain science, that can get kind of monotonous for some people, even if you have colorful graphics and all kinds of other pictures. So basically, what it has to be almost a grassroots campaign where parents are talking to other parents, community members are sharing with other community members, and we all kind of come to this realization and this support where you're supporting each other too in the decision to hold firm. You know, you can't have one person over here say, oh, well, you know, I drank when I was in high school, so it's going to be, you know, and I'm okay. So it's going to be okay, because you never know whether they're going to become addicted to alcohol or marijuana or cigarettes.
Everybody is different. Everybody is different. And the important thing to keep in mind is one person can make a difference.
Absolutely.
One person can make a difference. If you have ever dealt or seen anyone who is addicted to a drug, you know how bad it is.
It is.
It really is very bad because it takes over your life. And you feel that's if you're really addicted to it. It takes over your life. And the only thing you're concerned about is getting more of those drugs.
Absolutely. And so often youth kind of use substances as a form of rebellion or freedom, and they think it's liberating. Oh, I can do this, and it's freeing, when in fact it's really taking control of their life, and they're losing all control to have the success that they want, to be able to accomplish their goals and objectives. Talk to somebody who's addicted to marijuana, and people are like, oh, marijuana's not addictive. The drug isn't, the behavior is.
Okay, I like the way you put that. The drug is not, the behavior is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you have any specific meetings or get-together or learning groups where people can come together as support groups?
Absolutely, absolutely. And we're trying to increase those throughout mid-Missouri, because there's some of the rural communities that don't have any, they don't have parent information, they don't have student information. And so that's one of the other challenges, is when you're going to a community where there's only 45 students in the graduating class, it's hard to provide the resources that they need, and it's hard for them to get people to come there. Council for Drug-Free Youth, the third Tuesday of every month, we have a meeting. Every other month we do an evening meeting with a training.
Where?
So and it's at the Hy-Vee meeting room in Jefferson City, actually.
Okay, and it's free of charge?
Free of charge.
So this is when now? At the Hy-Vee meeting room in Jefferson City,
every third Tuesday. So the last one we had, I believe, was March 17th. I'm sure it was March 17th in the Hy-Vee meeting room at 5:30 in the evening. And we had a coalition meeting where we talked about how we could address parents serving alcohol to minors, And then after that, we had a specialist, a prevention specialist, come and talk about the brain and addiction, so that parents or community members, anybody interested, it doesn't matter whether you have children or you don't have children, you could find out about the brain and addiction. Our next meeting is going to be at 11:30, and we won't do the training following it, but we always have these informal discussions where people can add their input. And our next one is about retailers selling to underage youth.
Okay, so that will be the third Tuesday. Third Tuesday of April.
And then I'm sorry, I don't have that locked in my
brain. All right, but everybody is invited to
Everybody's
attend.
welcome.
I think that would be next Tuesday. I think it would, because this is April 13th.
April 13th. No, it's April 21st. I'm sure.
April 21st.
Yes,
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So mark it on your calendar. April 21st. It will be at the Hy-Vee meeting room in Jefferson City.
Yes.
Council for Drug-Free Youth. Joy Sweeney, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you
Always
for having me.
Always a pleasure to have you here.
I appreciate it.
Tomorrow, Talking Hearts Productions in the heart of Missouri, CASA. Our program directed by Travis McMillan. Reynolds Journalism Institute. Audio is Pat Akers from KBIA. Our floor director is Lowell Thomas. And our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. To watch this again or listen to it again, kbia.org. Sign up for a free podcast or podcast. Drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu.